So, after all that, being available and everything, that was my main thing, is being able to be there for you and as well as the students, so that way it would flow for you a little bit better. Okay, so now let's go into, we've done that. I can't stress how important it was for you to be able to jump in and find your teacher voice early
Yes,
on.
and I think it benefited me more than it put me at a disadvantage.
Yeah, and I think you'll be able to really be comfortable, and I think you'll be ready 100%, for when you start teaching. I really do. I think you'll be successful in that.
Thank you.
Yes, I really do. But thank you for, taking on a big responsibility at such an early stage in your student teaching, and again, you'll be left alone, to do full teach again,
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be, I can't think, the students behave well and I think that reflects off their teaching and how I impact them, so.
Thank you. All right, let's go into Monday. We observed a science, is it Monday?
Yes.
Monday we did, Friday we did alphabets. Okay, so Friday when I came back, we did alphabet, and that went really well. The only thing was that I did notice they were very excited, so that went really, it was a great activity and stuff. I think time was a factor for it, because
It
it
took a
was,
while.
since it was a half day, and then we had we had a lot of interruptions throughout the day. And so, but overall, them understanding what the alphabets entailed, and that showed up in their writing. So when they were doing their writing piece, a lot of it, we're able to reflect on that. And so, I think it was like one of their best assignments that they've had. And I think because it was so fresh in their mind, and so that played a big part in it. Also, I think the only thing that I could really critique on, or that I saw, was that during the preview of the lesson was that there was a lot of talking,
Amongst
just
the students?
amongst the students beforehand. So while you were trying to get them to into the lesson itself, they were doing a lot of talking back and forth on their own. And so I think maybe just making sure that you have their undivided attention, rather than me having to step in and say, to redirect.
Yes.
And so finding those students that are doing their own little thing, making it right away, so that way it doesn't distract everybody else. Because the others were trying to pay attention, but there was so much going on. Yeah. And I think maybe we should have waited on the gloves or something, because that was like
Yes, and also I think that when I introduced the alphabets, I told them what we were going to do. I told them we were going to dissect alphabets. And I think that if I would have held back on that and just introduced the food webs and what alphabets were, instead of being like, okay, we're going to dissect actual alphabets. And I think that it made them a little more excited, and they were just focused on that as opposed to the background knowledge and information needed to understand the lesson fully. So I think I could have introduced that.
maybe the transition was a little bit smoother.
Yes.
Okay, or the way you handled that. Yeah, and that's a good way to reflect on that. So you were able, now that you're able to go back and look at it, you know how to do something or at least this lesson a little bit differently, when it comes to or if you were able to do it for your own classroom. And so, yeah, and I would say, I would agree with you on that, because that was the big deal. They were more involved with, oh, this is what we're gonna do, and they were ready. They had already tuned out. And so they didn't want to worry about anything else. And so, but I guess if we would have done it, maybe waited to do it either on a Monday or Tuesday, rather than Friday, when we had so many things going on. And so, yeah, but overall, they were excited, and so it was just time constraint. And I think that, being able to go with the flow played a lot much. So that was really good. Okay, so now, let's go ahead, ladies, ask